I'm someone who considers myself a student of life. I learn a lot from nature, from my environment, and from observing people, especially from children, from babies. And I've had the privilege of watching my niece grow, and it is an experience that I would never trade for anything. I've learned so much from just watching how she interacts with her environment, interacts with the people around her, and it's just been such a blessing. Today on Joy O'Clock, I'll tell you a little bit about her and I will share 3 lessons that I've learned from my baby.
With joy, we draw from the wells of salvation. Open your heart to the stories you hear today. Let them serve as tools to draw health, courage, comfort, graces from the endless supply of the one who gives freely and abundantly. So, grab a friend, grab a snack, and prepare to receive a fresh dose of joy. Welcome to Joy O'Clock. It's more than just story time.
She is such a light. She's strong, she's smart, and you can literally spend hours just watching her and you are entertained because of how she just acts. She makes us laugh. Of course, there'll be times when you'll be tired or stressed, and just by trying to get her to do certain things will make you want to raise your voice and all of that. But she's been such a blessing. As babies grow, they interact with their environment, try to learn what is around them, what those things are for. They try to see if everything is food. So whatever they see on their path, as long as it can fit into their mouth, they put it in their mouth to see if that is food. They don't know whether something is hot or if it is sharp. They don't care. They see that thing, they just want to touch it, they want to observe it, they want to explore, they want to learn about it, right? So there are certain times that they would go close to things that are dangerous, and it is left for you, the adult who knows about these things, to take them away from it and tell them that, oh, this is not good for you, this is hot, this is sharp, it could hurt you, this is dirty, it is not food. The response of all babies are the same. They first thing, they want to fight, they want to wiggle their way out of your grasp and go right back to that thing that you're telling them not to go to. One day, while we were having that struggle, she was trying to touch something hot, and I was telling her, this is hot, it could hurt you. And she was struggling, crying for me to let her go and for her to go back to that thing I was trying to take her away from. And I just looked at her, and the thing that came to mind was like, this is my life with God, basically. And I just imagined how God would be looking at me all those times that He was trying to take me away from something that was potentially dangerous for me, something that was not part of His plans for me, something that would eventually hurt me. And I was feeling like I was being deprived of something good. I was struggling, in my emotions, or not being happy when I'm supposed to be rejoicing that God is saving me from danger, saving me from that which is not of Him. Every time I see that, I just go to that place of in my heart, like, God, I am sorry. Sorry for every time that you tried to take me away from danger, take me away from something that was not what you planned, and I struggled, tried to get myself back in. Forgive me and help me see, help me remember that you're all knowing. Just like how, as an adult, I know about these things. I've been here before the baby, right? So I know things that she doesn't know. I know what is good, what is bad, what is dangerous for her, what could hurt her, and what will not. I'm looking at only what I can see, but God has seen things beyond my scope of vision. God has seen things beyond what I can even imagine. So if He says, don't go there, I should respectfully take myself out of that picture with thanksgiving, because He knows what's best for me. And if He says no for one thing, then His yes is the best, right? And another lesson I've learned is that we all come into this world complete. God did not send anyone into this world empty. It said in God's word that God has given us all things that we need for life and godliness, everything that we need to be what He has created us to be, to function in the capacity that He formed us to function in, to express that beautiful side of God that He wants the world to see through us. He has put in us all of those things. And what is then required of us from when we're babies is to grow into that experience, grow into that place of being able to express these things. The fact that we're unable to access them now does not mean that they're out of our reach or there are things we have to outsource from some place that we have to struggle to get to. As long as you are in this world, God created you with everything that you need. Why am I saying this and how does this relate with what I've learned from my niece? Is that you see babies right from when they're born, if you touch the side of their cheek, they try to turn like they're seeking for food already. And once the baby goes onto the mother's chest, they are seeking for ways to suck, to feed. So right from when they're born, they know how to get to food. As long as everything is okay. Once the baby gets on the mother's breast, the baby starts to feed. This is wisdom that is inbuilt. And when you observe them as they grow, you see that when it gets to a stage for certain things to be expressed, for example, when it's time for the baby to crawl, you see that the baby begins to try to crawl. That is already inbuilt. So there's something funny my niece does. Whenever she wants to go outside, into the compound to play on the sand with the leaves or whatever she finds, she'll take whatever shoes or slippers she finds around her and throw it down. So she'll throw the slippers down, then she'll go down and then go about her business. Once the slippers touch the ground, she has no business with them. She just throws them down and goes about her business. And we're wondering, like, why does she do this? And in my head, it's like, perhaps she's doing it to justify her going out into the compound because when there's no adult there, we don't like her to go in because she can put anything in her mouth, get into something that might be dangerous for her. So whenever we see her going out, when no one is there, we call her back in. So I guess she's just like, let me throw the slippers down. So if they see me going down, they will understand that I'm going to get the slippers that was on the floor. So this is wisdom in a way. She has sense. Try to justify her going down. It's encouraging for me to see these things play out. So it means that all the things I perceive that have been given to me, all the things I perceive that I've been called to, even if I've not reached that place of manifestation yet, it doesn't mean it is cancelled. It doesn't mean I, have no way of getting to it. It just means this version of me has not grown the capacity to carry that level of, manifestation of experience. So I then have the responsibility of doing all I need to do to grow into that version of me that has the capacity for the experience, the expressions of God's glory that I'm supposed to reveal to the world. So God has put in us everything that we need to express that beautiful side of His glory that He has deposited in every single person to manifest to the world. Okay, so the third thing I've learned from watching this wonderful human being grow is to adjust my attitude and my approach to what I consider as failure. So when babies start to walk, we know that they fall a lot. And for my niece, it's not been different. She got to walk, confidently on her own before she turned 1, which was on the 28th of November 2024. And now she knows how to walk. She's now learning to walk fast and to run. So because of that, she falls often. But whenever she falls, the first thing you hear is, ooh. She barely cries when she falls. If she cries when she falls, then you know it's either she was tired, stressed out, and she just wants to sleep. She's frustrated, but she doesn't know how to get herself to sleep, or she hurt herself when she fall, probably hit a part of her body and it hurt her, that's why she's crying. But if it's not a serious fall, like maybe she did not hit a part of her body badly, she will not cry. She'll just say ooh and then get back up, get back to walking, get back to running, the very same thing she was doing before she fell. She'll get back to do that same thing. So it's either she says ooh, gets back up, continues the walking or running, or she would lay on the floor, use her hand to just rub the floor, scan the area, just lounge on the floor, observe the area, and then get back up to do the same thing. So I was observing her one day, and I learned, I'm like, this is really how I should approach anything that I would have considered failure. Like, failure is about our perspective, right? Failure is not a bad thing. Now, this is me talking to myself. Like, the fact that you tried to do something and it did not turn out the way you expected does not mean that that is the end of that vision, or it means that you are a failure. No, the thing failed, the plan failed, the mission failed, but you have not failed. I mean, you're still living, you're still alive. So I'm learning to separate, when I'm talking about failing, I'm learning to separate, putting that label on myself as an individual versus putting it on the project. Okay, we failed on this. It does not mean that we are failures. So the baby's approach, she would cry if she's tired, and then she needs to rest, or she would scan the floor, get back up, or she'll just say ooh, get back up and continue walking. So the way my mind is being renewed to go about having a better attitude to things that don't turn out the way I wanted them to turn out is, am I tired? I should search myself. Was I tired? Is this why this did not work? Am I stressed out? Am I burnt out? Whether physically, emotionally, in any way, financially, intellectually, in any way. If tiredness was the cause, if stress was the cause, then I need to rest before I try again. Take a break from that thing, get myself refreshed, and then get back on it. Another thing was the reason for that failure due to improper planning, improper strategizing, not being able to put systems in place that should have been in place to ensure that that thing succeeds. If that was the case, then this time, while I'm in that place of, being on the floor, like my niece, I need to scan the area. I need to learn what I did not learn before. Look out for what problems did we fail to tackle the way they were supposed to be tackled. What strategies did I fail to put in place before going on with that thing? How can I make this work now? So instead of just throwing a pity party and wailing and say, oh, I failed, this has failed, this is not going to work, I need to really just reanalyze the situation, reanalyze the resources available, see how it will work into that. And then if all of those things are in place, all I need to do is, ooh, we failed. Okay, this did not work out. Let's get back up and go ahead and try again. Knowing especially that God is with me. God has my back, especially when it is a God thing, when it is something that He has instructed me to do and He has already made grace available. So I'm not out here doing my own thing. If I'm doing that which He has told me to do, then there has to be a way around it. If I'm not succeeding, then it means there's something I'm yet to know. There's something I'm yet to do in a certain way that would ensure success. So I need to stay with this person who is the one who has given the assignment. Stay in that place of intimacy with him and allow him fill me with the truth, the wisdom, the resources, everything I need to be able to birth that expression that he has ordained for me to birth. Something I forgot to say when I was talking about the second point, how God tries to take us away from danger and we try to put ourselves back in, is that one of the things I've learned about pride is that it doesn't always come in the way that we think it does. The big thing, the thing everybody knows about pride, the arrogance, the, just boastful about yourself, what you can do. But there are subtle symptoms of pride. And the Bible says God resists the proud, but gives more grace to the humble. Some of the things that we may not consider as pride is leaving God out of the equation, trying to figure things out on your own without including God. It means you're saying, I got this. I know how to go about this. I know more than you do. And that in itself is pride. And the Bible has said God gives more grace to the humble. It means that where God is involved, His grace is available. But where you take Him out of the picture, where you decide not to involve Him, it means you have also decided to exclude His grace. you have also decided not to have His grace be involved in your life in that area. So whenever I see a resistance, whenever I'm trying something and it just seems like it's not working, I come to that place of like, God, search my heart. Is there any trace of pride in me that is the reason for me being resisted in this way? If there is, please take it out. And whatever it is that I'm yet to see, help me see. Like, I don't want to leave you out of my life in any way. Even the things that people would say, oh no, God does not even need to know about these details. I believe in including God in every detail of my life, even about what to wear, how to say something to someone, how to do certain things, like should I go out now? I mean, should I wait a little? I don't do it all the time, but that is the goal. I want to be able to include God in the littlest detail of my life. Like, what should I eat now? Let God be the one to tell me, girl, you got this, make your decision. The Bible says, the fool says in his heart that there is no God. And we look at that and we think, oh, it's just the people who don't believe in God that this is referring to, or anybody who says God does not exist, that this part of the Bible is referring to them. But one way that I came to see it is that every time I exclude God out of any part of my life, I'm invariably leaving room for foolishness to have a field day. If I say, God, just take several seats, I got this, then I'm saying, foolishness, you can come in, mess things around. This is how I see it. So I don't want to be in that mix of having things appear as evidence that foolishness has been there. I'd rather have the wisdom of God present in my life in everything I do. So I'd rather acknowledge God. The Bible says that we should acknowledge God in all our ways and He will direct our path. I want God's direction. I want God's guidance. So I, by His help, will include Him in everything I do. Let His grace be present. Let there be the signature of His presence on everything I do. So these are some of the things I've learned through the experience of watching my niece grow. I believe this has blessed you. If you've had the privilege of being around a child, a baby, an older child, please leave a comment or two about some of the things that you have learned from observing these precious children grow. Or even if it's even an adult, what have you learned recently by just observing people with how they interact with life, with their approach to life? Someone who may not have even taught you anything by way of speaking, but just from your point of view by observing them, what are some of the things that you believe will be beneficial to us that you've learned? Please leave in the comments and let's all learn together, okay? Thank you for sticking around till now. I believe this has blessed you. Please remember to share this with someone. This might be a blessing to somebody. And thank you for all the prayers, the encouragement, for being part of this channel. It is a huge blessing to have this platform and to have people who support this vision. Thank you for being part of it. If you haven't subscribed, please do, and turn on your notifications so that you will always catch a new video whenever it drops. Do come around again next week for a fresh dose of joy from this platform. Till next time, stay blessed and thrive gracefully. Bye.